It's my mistake. Yeah.
Did you want me to repeat what I was saying, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so the question was, what do we think about the rise of digital currency? And I saw that there were three forms of digital currency, which was cryptocurrency, stablecoin, and the central bank digital currency. People mostly refer to the acronym, which is CBDC. And there's a lot of pros and cons to this digital currency, but I more or less thought about how it could be controlled, by the government. So look at, for example, Kanye West. He had his bank account frozen. Some say it was by Adidas. Others say it was because he didn't pay his taxes. But nevertheless, he still had it frozen. So that just shows you the power that they had. And then I saw that because of the Russians going to war with Ukraine, that a lot of the payment services that were offered by Apple and Google were no longer offered to the Russians anymore. So if they have the power to do that to an entire nation, then just think about what they have the power to do to an individual person. So as far as if it's something that'll actually be ushered in, I don't know, but I just know that it's scary, and the means of transactions, it will change drastically over time, but all you can do, you really don't have any power to do anything, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry, did anybody else want to go talk about it?
I was just going to quickly say, first thing that comes to my mind is can't buy or sell. That's the very first thing, is we control who eats and who doesn't. So with that being said, it's just prophecy is coming into fruition, and we can't. That's the main thing, is we know that that's true. We know what's coming down the pipe, and they were going to have to get rid of the dollar bill in order to do this. So, we're living in those times. So at the end of the day, it's not surprising. Everything that we see and we hear, it's not like it's new to us. We're just waiting for it to happen. I always say, like, the Bible's a play, and we know the beginning and the end, and we're filling in the middle. We're living out the middle portion. And we're running into the things that I spoke of. So yeah, once they have control of the dollar, and who gets to, if they approve of you, like he's talking about Kanye, certain decisions, certain things are going to be said, and you're going to make some enemies, and a lot of people are going to, starve. But that's where we at. Not surprised, to be honest.
Yeah. Let me just read, since you brought it up, and I want to be clear to people that may be listening that because I'll talk about this. A lot of times people get confused. They'll look at a micro, a RFID chip, and say that's the mark of the beast. It's here, and that's it. And if you take what it is the technology is here. That's what's here. Like the brother said, that's what he thought about buy or sell. So he alluded to Revelation 13. I'm gonna just read it. And this is during Great Tribulation. We know that Great Tribulation starts when the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stands in the holy place. That's when the Pope will stand in the newly constructed third temple. Okay, so he says, Revelation 13, John writes in verse 13, in verse 15, he says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So so now it's related to worship. And I think that's a misconception. Like people have RFID chips in some of the Scandinavian countries, they using it to ride trains. That may be the technology, it may not be, but the technology, the capability is here. It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Then he goes on to tell you what happens if you take that mark. That's in Revelation, the 14th chapter. He says, give me a second here. And in verse 9, it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast or his image and receive his mark in his forehead and on his right hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So so the technology is here, but the circumstances, it seems like we're headed that way. And I'm gonna let you go, Brother Nathan.
I was just going to say, I think it's interesting how they always disguise control with the cloak of convenience. That's the first thing that I notice they usually go to is, look how convenient this is for you. And it's kind of like like I only seen like bits and pieces of like the original Star Wars, but it's like that Jedi mind trick. They wave it over people's eyes. It's convenient. They're like, oh yeah, it's convenient. And they just do it, not realizing that with every instance of convenience, or as things become more and more convenient, the less control you have and less privacy you have over your own life.
Yeah. And you really, I think that oftentimes we give that power over to somebody, because with that power of just making your own decisions and controlling your own life, that takes responsibility and there's risk in that. So we want to give that over to the government as if they can think for us and be our mother and father. And really, you have to be responsible for your own freedom. That's just like I heard, about the jab out here. One commercial I saw was a black, when they were trying to get black folks to take it. I remember one woman said, and it was one of the dumbest things I heard. She said, I'm not researching the jab. I'm paraphrasing now. I'm not asking questions for the jab. I'm just getting the jab. And everybody's cheering her. She's like at a political gathering. And it was like used as an ad. It's like, why wouldn't you ask questions? Why wouldn't you research? Why wouldn't you think about what you're doing and the ramifications of something that had never been done in human history? Why would you not think of those things? So yeah, when you say about convenience, yeah, that is it. That we base everything on convenience and happiness, right? I mean, abortion is because a baby is inconvenient, right? So you engaged in some pleasure, and now you got an inconvenient child. Now it's time for abortion. I mean, that's how we operate as human beings, and so that's a recipe for disaster. Did anybody else have it? So that was a good point. Anybody else had anything on that?
Yeah, I mean, my question would be, like, how do they control the value?
How did
The
they
value
do?
of it, the value of it when it goes up and down. I had crypto, and the value of it was going up and down, and when it got so bad, I just sold everything. So, and I think we still have some of those type meme type coins, that are still down, that me and my wife invested in, and we just waiting to see if something's going to happen. It's going to change, go back up, but it's kind of like almost like a stock. So how do they control the value of it and stabilize that if they're going to switch over to digital?
You want to answer that, or you want to address that, Brother Austin?
No. I just had something in addition that I was going to say. I don't know how they would actually control the value though.
Yeah. Okay. So another thing, just to respond, it may be that, because see, fiat currency, you talk about convenience. Another issue is when things become catastrophic and they fail. So if the fiat currency fails, that may be a way to push in the you want to wait till the fiat currency fails to push in the central bank digital currency. And so they will basically, and so like just like now how it's fraudulent, like the fiat currency is fraudulent. They loan out money like that does not exist, right? They do these things. So now and they can, and just like the brother mentioned earlier, they can turn your bank, they could basically, a bank could say you're not going to use this money, right? So with the digital, it becomes a situation where they could just control whatever you spend it on because it's in a state of crisis. So the issue is might not necessarily be, well, how do you control the value of it? The issue is that who's going to get it because you're in need of it. And then that definitely, it can turn it off. They can put time limits on it. They can make it very because that's probably what's going to it would seem like that may be when it would come in is when the other system fails. But and digital currency is the new currency now, and that may be as confidence, because you're starting to see it in other countries. Other countries are using digital currencies not because they are trying to get an investment, making an investment, trying to make some money. They're using digital currencies because they've lost confidence in their own country's currency. And what happens is the country, once you go to a new currency, you're going to use what people have been using, right? But they're going to use this probably it's obviously going to be oppressive. I mean, if the system they have now it's a fraudulent system. How do you loan out money, fractional reserve bank? How do you loan out money you don't have? You see what I'm saying? How do you federal income tax is unconstitutional. How do you so you're going to go to an even much more oppressive and dangerous system. And in a state of crisis, I think that may be it. That could be a possibility. So I don't even know if what you're saying will be an issue, because you'll just be worried about how do I eat. Yeah. Peace, brother Isaiah.
So peace. Sorry for the
You good? You good, bro?
Yeah, I'm here picking cotton on the plantation. So I just Austin text I saw it. So I say let me take my break now and just come in and see you guys soon. Good to see you guys. Good to see you, brothers.
See you too, brother.
Yeah,
Brother, peace.
Brother Austin, did you want to?
Yeah, I was just.
Go ahead.
I was gonna add to some of the things that you had alluded to when you were explaining it. I seen somebody say that it would issue in a social credit system. And I've heard that term employed before, but I didn't understand what it meant. But I saw that China had employed it as a way to deter people from criticizing the CCP. So they're saying that once you have this new currency system in place, then that's when you can also adopt the social credit score to deter people from criticizing whatever governmental powers are in existence at that time. So that's and now also, so I don't know if Isaiah could add something to this, but I saw that the truckers convoy in Canada also had their bank accounts frozen when they were doing what they were doing. So it's just interesting to see. Yeah.
This, I think Canada would adopt all these things before everybody in the Western Hemisphere. Because what I find that people here, they don't really rebel. And if they rebel, they want to rebel. And when I say rebel, I don't mean take up arms and I mean oppose in a legal way. And if you get opposed in a legal way, you are sent to re-edification, like in the Chinese camp. I think right now they have Jordan Peterson through his professional body, his registration, his license body, they are going to eradicate him, right? And it's nice ways of saying it. Like the one of the terms they use is for the eradication process is is like communication, like eradication and communicating and all that stuff. Disrespectful communication classes. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen live, and it's in every institution already here. And in this site, one of the sites I work at, it actually happened to me, right? For something I said, I was told that I had to go to a reedification class, or disrespectful communication class, because I said something pertaining to safety, and the other personnel didn't like it. And I had to go, or I had to pay $100 if I didn't pay for this thing. Went into the class, it was like, what, about 50 of us inside there. And this is for issues, simple issues that humans could say sorry, or say, look, Brother Elijah, Brother Willie, you offended me, and we could talk it out. But they would go and they would make a full complaint. And this is how the society is running now. We don't solve problems anymore. It's two ways now I see how society solve problems. One is like we either shoot each other without resolving it, or we cancel a person. That is the trend now that I've observed that's going on. And the social scores, it will take effect of I won't be surprised soon enough. Being a dictator is sweet.
What's that?
Being a dictator is a sweet, powerful thing.
Oh, yeah. Trudeau is a dictator too.
Yeah, he is. He is a dictator, and he's encouraging a lot of dictatorial institutions, right, around the country, around in every single area. Universities was supposed to be the place of challenging your thoughts. It was supposed to be the place that give birth to that radical thinking. And when I say radical thinking, is that thinking away from, outside the box that could improve life. No, you can't. You can't question anything. It's like that. It's like when that thing I posted in the group we have there. I didn't even think of what you wrote.
Yeah.
Right? I said, holy. Yeah. I under the impression you can write these things, you can say these things, even if it's out of the book that the so-called Western Empire said they build their society on. You can't write that. And it's all Sabbath I was laughing at Willie respond really saying is like he trying to be the first victim of the tribulation. But
yeah,
it never dawned on me until you had me thinking it twice. But I'm supposed to do them things. I'm supposed to say, hey, that's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't impose. And if I show you guys the reason why I wrote that, I'll send it to you guys. Is that somebody write this thing about pronouns should be about, okay, I don't feel like a girl, so I'm a boy. Right? That's the pronouns issue. You declare yourself, I'm this, I'm that. But when you put pronouns in the colors that they so-called call the gay colors, and then you say these are the pronouns, your agenda, you have revealed your agenda. No. And it got me pissed off that institutions are pushing these things. But yet I can stand up and say, praise God.
Yeah.
It's an offense.
Yes.
And this country is leading it, and it might look passive enough, but they are leading this thing actively.
Yes. The brother put in the chat, you can't say gay. Yeah. It's really, just to go back a little bit in what you said about what the brother said about you know, the social credit score, and you definitely could see Canada going in that direction.
Yeah.
But it's really the West is primed for it, as America's primed for it, because this is a cancel culture. You know, so cancel culture goes right along with that. But the question is, who determines what's right? Those who have these wicked ideas are determining what you can say and what is morally appropriate to say, but it's based on immorality. So if you go against the immorality, now you have become the one that's immoral. It is 1984, Brave New World. It's all totally backwards. You know, it's totally backwards. And when I asked the question, if you put that on a shirt, would it be hate speech? I was really asking, because I was like, wait a minute, is that because this is Canada? You know, could you put that on this, you know?
You had me thinking, this is right. This could be correct.
I'm not,
So
I wasn't saying you shouldn't do it. I was just asking what.
No. But the question you had me thinking all sort of things like, oh my God, it could be someone could know about it and say, go and charge me. And this thing is actually in their laws of it.
Yes, it's in the law.
Built into the law. If someone deemed that this is a hate speech, I can go to court, lose my job, and get kicked out.
Yes. When I saw them, I saw Jordan Peterson in an interview on television. He was debating another Canadian professor who was transgendered, and the issue of pronouns came up. And his argument was like, you know, this isn't how you're forcing speech. Like, this isn't, you know, right. He had valid arguments, and I'm looking and I'm like, but the first part of the story was about how they put it into law, you know.
Yeah.
And so this is and you see it in academia, you see it everywhere. You see, you know, like you said, that should be a place where your ideas are weighed. They're not weighing ideas in academia. They're indoctrinating.
Yeah.
Indoctrinating you in the schools, certainly in colleges and universities.
Brothers, let me just say something. Week before I went for interview, and I want to ask you guys, guess what was the first question they asked me?
Can I touch your hair? No, I'm just playing. I don't know.
No, think about it.
Something about homosexuality.
Nah, man. Something recently happened.
Some recently happened.
So recent globally.
Globally. Have you been vaccinated?
Brother, yeah. I was shocked.
That's
that
everywhere,
was
bro.
First question. The first question they ask you.
Not
yeah,
not if you have the hepatitis shot, you know. Have you taken the COVID shot? Man, I sometimes, you know, I really pray that justice be served. I really, really pray that, you know.
Pray that, brother. Yeah. You know what that would look like?
Righteous judgment, righteous justice be served, you know.
Second coming.
What'd you say?
The second coming of Christ.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I just be thinking about sometimes, because all these guys, all these people who is thinking that they're in control and no God exists.
Yeah.
Right? While I sit here waiting, sharpening my sword.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, that kind of, even just that alone, I mean, when you see what seems to be something that was done, perhaps, you know, allegedly, purposefully, you know.
But how is it we go rebuild our family, right? Our family. And you know what I'm talking about, Israel. When so much distraction, so much hurdles, so much, you know, just the fight alone with the false prophet and the distraction of the false church, that alone is a lifetime. Much less to all the other things that these people are adding on. We have to depend on the Most High. We have to. Yes, they're gonna disintegrate us, disintegrate people in the truth. They're gonna destroy us. It's a scary thing waking up, honestly. When you really wake up and you look around, I'm in a boneyard.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah, because that's actually, you know, that's where, I mean, when you read the word, you know, that's ultimately persecution, because what we believe puts us in the category of one that is to be canceled, to be, you know, to be persecuted because of our religious beliefs are contrary. Our faith is contrary to what has become the status quo. And so when the governments become more oppressive, that pain will come.
Last Sabbath, when you were going into it, I was like, they're gonna flip the switch. They're gonna flip the switch.
What I say last Sabbath? I don't remember.
When you started going to it, man, and you started hit. Look, I'm gonna be frank here. So this time they're gonna flip the switch. You know, when you start talking the truth about the things that are happening, somebody had to do it.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time, and then you can kind of see, you know, the mindset of people. People are going for this. They have accepted the programming. You know, even when you read about Great Tribulation, you read about what's going to happen to the two witnesses, and when they died, you know, and they killed them, they were like rejoicing and sending each other gifts. That just shows you how backward their thinking was. Yep. I don't know if anybody else had anything on that. All right, speaking on the social credit score and the cancellation, what do y'all think about Tony Dungy and his comments, his situation where he's catching a lot of backlash? I don't know if anybody had anything. I'm gonna show you this on New York Post. Give me a second. Man, hold on 1 second. Oh, go ahead, brother. Austin. I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand there. I was trying to look at look for the article. Go ahead.
No, it's all great. Do you want to explain it first?
I can, yeah. So this is from New York Post. Tony Dungy roasted over a tweet about little litter boxes in school bathrooms. Okay, so Tony Dungy wasn't quick enough in hitting the delete button, so it automatically, okay. The Hall of Famer, who currently serves as, well, actually, he's an NFL analyst facing backlash. He referenced a debunked claim about litter boxes in schools. Okay, so this was in response to what this, I guess, Minnesota House member advocated for a bill requiring menstrual products in boys' school bathrooms. And she said, not all students who menstruate are female, which is asinine, right? But then he said that's nothing. Some school districts are putting litter boxes in the school bathrooms for the students who identify as cats, AKA furries, okay? Very important to address every student's needs. So now here's the problem with his statement. The issue, he's saying, he's basically addressing this and saying how this is wrong and how, you know, this is wrong. But the problem was, though, that school districts, you know, you'd be hard pressed to find a school district that did that. It was one, I believe, in Michigan that they said that they were putting litter boxes in schools, and that wasn't the case. But students are identifying as cats. Okay, so this part of it was it was two-pronged. Number one, this isn't necessarily accurate. You know, almost like the Willie Lynch letter. Is it real? You know, but it's real. You know, so like that part, and then the idea that you go against this, you know, that you have tampons in the men's bathroom. Like when we went to Ohio, when I went to preach in Ohio, we went in in the bathroom, and there were tampons in there for me in the men's bathroom. So this is what he's addressing, but he used inaccurate information. Okay, but did you want to respond, brother? Brother Austin.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I remember when I first saw those in Oregon. They have those in all men's restrooms, and it's just like it's just disrespectful. Like I don't. There's no respect for men. Like why would you put that in a men's bathroom and expect for it to be used? I don't really get it, but that was the first time I actually saw that in a restroom. I didn't see it in college down here in Indiana, but they did have like gender neutral bathrooms and stuff like that. But I did see it like in all the restrooms down there. So that was my first experience with it. But as far as what he said, like after like I saw this article, I went to try to see if I could find those litter boxes, but apparently people were saying that it was a spoof. It really wasn't the actual thing.
Right.
But I did see I don't know if this is true or not, but it is true that they are dressing as furries,
Yes.
like as cats and stuff like that. And then I'm not sure if you all saw the other article, but there was a student who dressed as a lizard.
I saw that.
Yeah, he dressed as a lizard. I thought he was kind of trolling on one part because he was trying to get. I think you get tuition if you if you identify as, I don't know, something that something out of this world. So that's what he was doing. But I saw an article where they were trying to make concessions for these students who identified as furries, and it was crazy. Like they were saying that perhaps we should introduce veterinarians instead of nurses, and bring in kitty litter and like I'm not sure what cats eat, something like that. But it's just crazy. Like you would think you go to school to try to get an education, but you got to deal with all of this crazy stuff. So, but as far as what he said, that was crazy. And then they're trying to paint him as a Republican zealot because they associate his speech with even though he may not. I don't know. I'm not sure what his political stance is, but they're quick to throw him in a specific category. And then also he said something about anti-abortion, I think, when he was addressing the Bills player who had that issue with his heart. But when you read the articles, it's like they present something and then it's never a neutral article. They always have something to where they try to push you to think a certain way about something. So
quick enough to hit the delete button.
Yeah. It's like who write these, man?
Yeah, it's I find it to be, and he just gave a speech at the Right to Life March. It was a rally, and he spoke about that. He talked about prayer. So he's certainly conservative. He's made comments in the past as well, about homosexuality. He felt it was wrong. But when you look at this, and this boys, these are children that are being indoctrinated with this madness. And it's like these ideas have penetrated the minds through this indoctrination, and it's pervasive. It's everywhere. And so it's like a poison that's just spreading, and it's like a virus or something that's going everywhere. And now you think about it. I mean, we're to the point. So sometimes you have to look at things. I'm gonna get you, Brother Nathan. Practical. How is this beneficial? How is this beneficial for our women to be men and the men to be women? How is this beneficial to perform, to give hormones to children who are perfectly healthy. This is actually detrimental. It's dangerous. It violates ethics. How but we accept these things. How is homosexuality as a whole? How is that beneficial to society? How I mean, just before you even get to the moral, law of the most high, even just thinking these practical terms, what kind of society, are you allowing these children to walk around dressed as cats? What problems are they going to be able to solve? Because they are going to be confronted with more problems than any other generation that has ever lived. What kind of citizens are you producing when you send them to a school to be indoctrinated? This is problematic. And as far as Tony Dungy, I believe I looked on his Twitter. Matter of fact, let me click on it now. I guess he apologized. Let me go here. This is his Twitter. And I have to say, I really like Tony Dungy as far as how he carries himself. He carries himself with class. And but he said, I saw a tweet yesterday and I responded to it in the wrong way. As a Christian, I should speak in love and in ways that are caring and helpful. I failed to do that and I am deeply sorry. So I believe this is in response to that. He wants to heal and reconcile. I don't agree with that. If you're going to say anything, say, hey, this part was wrong. But in essence, what this person is saying is right. So this idea that as a Christian, you have to pussyfoot and not address issues when that's not what Christ did. Christ said, scribes, Pharisees, Sadducees, hypocrites. John the Baptist said, "Oh, generation of vipers, who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come." I mean, we can't capitulate. And I'm not saying obviously he doesn't have the same beliefs we have. But some things he does have that he believes that abortion is wrong. He doesn't agree with this particular lifestyle. We agree with that. But we have to hold firm to what we stand on. Brother Nathan, you still there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here, teacher. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead. You had something?
Yeah. So I was just I was going to say, I know we had to talk about where I work, and obviously what career field I'm in, and I can tell you there's a lot of furries where I am.
What?
Yeah. And they take it serious.
How you gonna be a furry in the military?
Yeah, they take it serious.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. They take it very seriously. Almost like a religion. These people spend thousands to tens of thousands of dollars on these costumes. They go to conventions, and some people take it far as to actually do as much things possible as that animalistic trait that they claim to have. Not all are like that, but there are some that are like that. But regardless, they all take it. If they are a furry, they take it very serious.
So are you saying in the area that you, because I couldn't have heard you correctly, brother. I know I must have been mistaken. Are you saying they're in the military and they're furry?
Yeah.
How you gonna go against your enemy and you dressed up like a cat?
Camouflage.
Camouflage? Oh man, that's crazy. Okay.
I didn't think y'all were talking literal. This whole time, I really didn't think y'all were talking in the literal sense.
It's crazy. That's how crazy it is. That's how crazy it is. That's how
it's kind of like,
it is.
You know how people they'll go to like
God.
Comic Cons and they'll dress up as like anime characters and stuff like that, and they'll act out like their favorite characters. This is 2 to 3 steps further. Because sometimes it'll get illicit.
Hmm. Yeah.
Man,
I saw they had to address that. I'm not sure what branch of the military it was, but they weren't doing it. They were dressing up as dogs, and it had gotten so bad that I think the military had to address it. But it was on the news though.
I must be really trapped under a rock somewhere, man, because I don't see any of this stuff. I've never seen it.
Hmm. Yeah, this is this
Oh,
is
and the other thing I wanted to say is I was listening to some podcasts. I don't remember who the guy was that was talking or the person they were talking to, but it was in relation to something that happened in California. I guess this girl was going to the YMCA and she came out, I think she was 13 or 14, and this man had an erect penis. And so she went to the YMCA board because obviously she was upset. And she was like, then the board member said, well, you're the issue because that's a female penis.
okay, bro.
Hmm?
oh,
Hmm.
oh, okay.
Hmm.
This, yeah, bro.
I wanted
Yeah,
to say, I wanted to say that it's just so funny and hypocritical, right? Like you could, as a human being today, you could become a whole nother species, right? And it's okay. Man can be you could be a whole nother gender, and it's okay. But if you claim to be from another nation, it's a problem. Let's cancel you. You understand? Let's take away everything that you say that you've made and earned because you have a identity. What they call that? It's identity. It's some kind of identity
Extremist,
crisis.
identity extremist.
Yeah, like you don't know what your identity is. So now we have to reprimand you because you identify with the wrong nationality. But we could be
We
we
can't
could
be
be a
Israel.
whale if we want to and walk around with a swimming pool, wrapped around our waist, right? And it's okay. I could be a furry and poop on people's lawns and it's okay. Right? So this is the world we live in, but if you say, "Hey, I'm the true, you know, Judean," it's a problem. Because truth, it just turns out that the truth is the problem. And the more we watch the world, we just clearly see that lies is in. They don't want to hear the truth, and anything that pertains to it has to be canceled. We're living in the matrix, like you said. And, at the end of the day, if you ain't getting right with the Lord and paying attention to the signs of the times, you are in trouble. You're in trouble because it's ridiculous to even try to live in. It's like the Sims world or this other little game, these Roblox games these people playing, or GTA. These things are just, our realities become so saturated with ridiculousness that it's hard to live. It's truly hard to live. Just going in and out, going to the store, and you worry about your children, the things they see and what they're doing. It's just, they made it so hard to live. If you have a straight mind, if you have a clear mind, they have made it hard for you to survive in this world. But I don't know. I don't want to catch nobody on my lawn talking about their furry. They better pick that up when they walk away. So madness. All right, back to it.
yeah, brother. So they're allowing that in the military, brother Nathan.
Yep.
But you can't be like on duty.
No.
Okay, so how are they allowing it then? I'm confused on that.
I think it's one of those things where they hear about people doing, and they're saying as long as you're not doing it at work, it's okay.
Okay.
But there's like I said, typically it leads to being illicit, and it leads to like a level of immorality, as like, for example, sleeping with multiple people at once. That's typically what, but you don't just, from what I've heard, you don't just stay a furry and just like you like dressing up. But it usually gets more extreme. It continues to get more extreme the deeper you get into it.
That's crazy. Okay. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. Anybody else have anything? Brother Austin, what is this you sent, brother? Military going to what? What is that?
Read it first. Read it first.
Going to. Okay. What? That's
what they're doing.
Okay, he's retired. Posted a Twitter. It was himself as his male of a junior officer wearing the other there. Gatekeeper. Okay, yeah, that's crazy.
That's what they do.
Really?
That's what they do.
That's what that's all about. Or is that?
Yeah.
That's
what.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, yeah, how's that? It's nonsense.
Yeah, while China powering up.
Right. The Chinese are more masculine,
Yeah.
Feminine can't be on in the media.
Yeah.
And
China powering up, man.
It's crazy. Yeah, we got other topics, but brothers, we've been on here about an hour, so I don't want to take too much more of y'all time. But I appreciate y'all, and we can pick up some of the other topics next time, maybe. Unless anybody else said anything to wrap up. No. All right. Well, I appreciate you, brothers, and
yeah,
I'll talk soon.
I come in for Passover, brother.
Okay, so you are okay.
Yeah. Most likely myself and my brother, if he gets his passport organized.
Okay. Cool. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
I'll be making my way there this time too. Isaiah, we're gonna have to link up.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. Peace, brother. Good seeing y'all. Good talk to y'all next week, Lord willing.
Peace, everybody. Have a safe week.
Peace, everybody.
Peace, everyone.
Peace, brothers.
Yep. Yes, sir. Take care, man.